This month on The Spark, our theme is Cheering for Values. We'll learn more about an organization working to increase the number of healthy, loving, caring, and forgiving families in Memphis and beyond. A nonprofit inspiring girls to be joyful, healthy, and confident using a fun, experience-based curriculum that creatively integrates running. And a company encouraging and equipping cheerleaders and dancers to be leaders on and off the field by getting involved and giving back to their communities. We'll also share a special moment from our Spark Awards 2018.
Just like having relevant and accurate information is necessary to make sound hiring and lending decisions, being engaged in our community is important. DataFax is proud to support the positives and be a sponsor of The Spark.
Lipscomb and Pitts Insurance is honored to serve the Memphis community for over 60 years. We've always focused on supporting our community and believe in promoting the positives, encouraging engagement, and leading by example. Lipscomb and Pitts Insurance is proud to be a presenting sponsor of The Spark.
Additional funding for The Spark is provided by Christian Brothers University, Mueller Industries, YMCA of Memphis and the Mid-South, Meriton, United Way of the Mid-South, MyTown Movers, MyTown Roofing, MyTown Miracles, Stuart Lloyd Cohen, Chief Motivation Officer, and by Serves.
Ever been excited by a new idea? Inspired by watching someone lead by example? When we talk about creating change, we start by sharing the stories of everyday heroes making a difference in their own way so we can learn and do the same. This truth is the power behind this show, which is focused on business and community leaders who are leading by example to give back, fuel change, and create new opportunities for the Mid-South. I'm Jeremy Park, and this is The Spark. They're an organization focused on increasing the number of healthy, caring, loving, and forgiving families in Memphis and beyond. We're here with the Executive Director for Families Matter Memphis, Carol Jackson. And let's start Families Matter Memphis. Give us a little bit of history lesson.
Well, it was started in 2004, long before I actually came to Memphis, by some people that decided that we needed something different here in Memphis so that families would be people would understand the importance of families. And so, of course, we're in the inner city. We do a lot of our work there. And it was just basically to do just what you just said, to increase the number of healthy, loving, caring, and forgiving families here in Memphis. Because, Jeremy, we believe that the breakdown of the family is the reason we see so much of the chaos that we see on a daily basis.
And if someone's never had a role model,
Exactly.
They don't know what to emulate.
They
and in
have
this
no
case, to your point, if they're growing up in a household without a father, they don't know how to role model and what to for themselves
Exactly.
to become. And
Exactly.
The saying, you can't be what you can't see, and so they have to be able to see it. And that's exactly what you're providing. Is
Yes.
you're providing them the opportunity to see what it should look like so that they can become that.
Exactly, and it's so important to us, and it's so important to the students, because as you said, if they cannot see it, if they've never seen it, then what they see is what they get from the street. And so many times we know that is not positive for the child. So what we want to do is make sure that there's a role model there, someone that not just during the school year, but for that full time, they have someone that they can look up to and they can call and they can be involved with so that they can give them a positive way to go.
So you work with the schools, you're literally working inside the schools. You also have programs where they will come to you. So
Right.
Talk about kind of how it works.
Well, the programs in the schools, so many times, you know, I used to knock on the school's doors. Now I don't have to. Now the principals or the social workers, they call us, because they recognize that those students, so many times the students that might have had some attendance issues, some behavior issues, but they now recognize if they can get those students in our programs, and they're not after school programs, the school actually allows us time within the day to come in and be with their students.
It's that important.
It's that important. So that happens to us just on a daily basis. In fact, I have about 5 schools right now that's wanting these services for next year that will increase our reach within the community. And then for the fathers, we go to the hospitals that you mentioned before they become fathers, because they're fathers, the baby's just not here yet. So we go into the hospitals, again men, go into the hospital teaching men that are about to be fathers their role within that child's life, as well as how they are supposed to help the mom during that time when she needs some special care. And so it's all about not shaking the baby, how to burp the baby, how to feed the baby, how to diaper the baby. It's little things that so many times they've not learned because they didn't have children in their lives earlier. And then for the Maximus fathers, for those fathers that are delinquent in their child support, or for some reason they've gotten in trouble somehow and they've just not been in their children's lives, we teach them a program called Nurturing Parents and Nurturing Fathers, so that they understand that their role is to nurture. They're to be protectors. They're supposed to care for. They are supposed to provide for their children so that their children understand who they are and whose they are, who they came from. You know, so we give them, and it's very hard for fathers to do that if they themselves have not had an example. So what we're trying to do is make certain that that understanding, the foundation of the family is there. Yeah. Because this is foundational. And with that foundation being broken, that's the reason we see the chaos that we see. We hear about it in the newspapers.
The next question is, how do we help your efforts?
You know, funding is always an issue. So funding for us, but also for us, we are a faith-based organization, so prayer. So many times the articles that are printed about us, then we'll get funding from someone who just read the article and recognize that what we're doing resonate with their thoughts. Because people understand that so many times children that's out committing crime, Jeremy, it's not because they're angry. We look at it from an anger standpoint, but it's actually because they're hurt. And when you're hurt, you do things that will hurt other people. So if funding for us is huge, prayer is huge for us, because the people that work with us, they go into neighborhoods so many times that other people decide not to go into. So we're constantly trying to make sure that they're okay, you know. So prayer for us is protection for the people that have the ability and the stick-to-itiveness of going and dealing with a young man that will literally curse you out for the first few times, because what they want to do is push you back, because they're so accustomed to people not being there for them. So they will test your stick-to-itiveness, if that's a word. Yeah. And so they push back until they recognize that, you know what, no matter what you say, no matter what you do, I am going to be here for you. And so we need that. We need volunteers or people that will come work for us that will be able to stick to the efforts that's in front of them. And so many times those efforts are little boys that are angry because they've never had a relationship with their biological father.
Well, how do we reach out? How do we connect in?
Well, you reach out by, first of all, you can go to our website, which is www.familiesmattermemphis.org.
Well, I absolutely love it. Thank you for coming on the show, Carol, and sharing the good and being a part of it, and greatly appreciate all you do.
Jeremy, I love that you invited me. Thank you so very much.
They're an organization inspiring girls with a curriculum that creatively integrates running. Girls on the Run Memphis. We're here with two of the board members, Cassara Richmond and Megan Nichols. Give us a little bit of history for Girls on the Run Memphis.
Right, so Girls on the Run is based out of Charlotte, North Carolina. It's been around for more than 20 years, and there are 200 councils across the U.S. We just launched in Memphis in fall 2018, so we're now like a year and a half into our programming. It's a 10-week program that we run in the fall and then in the spring. They meet twice a week, girls after school or at community centers, but they're trained by our coaches, and they basically teach them these valuable life lessons, and then running is just kind of woven into that, and then it culminates with a celebratory 5K.
So let's break this down a little bit. So you've got the schools, and there are some schools where it's primarily the students at the schools. Other schools allow others to kind of plug in, so it's much larger. Mm-hmm. Talk about the schools and the growth on that side first.
Absolutely. So we started out in just, I believe, 2 or 3 locations. We do schools, community centers, charter schools. We've now doubled. We started out, like I said, at 2 or 3 locations. We added on a 4th, and then now we've doubled to about 6 locations. And we're really excited just to be able to see the program continue to grow across the community and just service more girls and continue just teaching them these empowering lessons through running.
Running is a foundation piece of this, but as you mentioned, this is life skills, it's empowerment, it's so much more than running. So talk about some of the lessons and the things that the girls are learning.
Right, this is a set curriculum. Like I've said, it's been around for 20 years. So it's tried, it's tested. And basically they're teaching them, our trained coaches, these life lessons where things that we could all benefit from, the strength of having a support system, knowing how to hit the pause button, these issues that, any one of us could benefit from. These girls are learning that. And then through that curriculum, running is part of it. So on top of that, they're building this healthy lifestyle.
And so obviously it's relationship building, it's friendships among not only peer-to-peer, but also for the adults who serve as the coaches and the mentors and the guides. Share a little of that experience, because I think in a cool way, there's a lot of just relational pieces for some girls, especially with some of the community centers and the different schools that might not have been able to meet before, and yet they're going through this shared experience together.
I think just as the program services girls from all backgrounds, a lot of our coaches come from various backgrounds. Some are teachers at the schools, some are just community leaders, different business people. So they show up to coach twice a week is usually the time commitment for these girls. We reach 3rd through 8th grade, and they get experience with just dealing with people on different levels and seeing their teachers there with them, committed to coaching them as well. And everybody can relate to these lessons on, like I said, empowerment, building friendship, when to hit the pause button. It's able to allow them to interact with people from different walks of life, and then everybody just kind of relate together to bring their own experience.
And then all the girls come together at that 5K from every school.
Yes.
So that's a chance for everyone to interact, which is a really special thing to see how the program ends.
You don't necessarily have to name any names, but talk about success stories and what that looks like.
Well, there are some girls, we're not out there every day with the girls, but we substitute coach occasionally. And just to see the difference when they're starting that program, and then you see them again at the 5K, and they never thought they'd be able to run a mile. And to see their faces when they cross that finish line, it's just a metaphor for life. They realize, oh, if I can do this, what else can I do? And that is just, it is magical.
So how can we help? I think there's multiple ways to plug in. Obviously, as a nonprofit, funding is a piece of this to be able to scholarship some of the girls and the runners. But share with us the ways we can help.
Absolutely. So there is a fee for the program, but we do not want to turn any girl away. So fundraising is a large part of what we do, because we do want to be able to offer those scholarships for those who may not be able to pay the fee each semester. In addition to that, we have our running buddies. So even if you can't serve as a full-time coach throughout the semester, you can sign up to be a running buddy for that final 5K. Every girl is paired with a running buddy, so they have somebody there with them along the way, encouraging them to make it to the finish line. And then just throughout the year, we do a lot of community events to get the word out. So we're always looking for volunteers to help staff booths and tables at those type of events. And we do our shoe fitting party every year where the girls are able to get shoes from Breakaway. So again, another opportunity to interact with the girls, help them get fitted. They get really excited about that. So plenty of ways to get involved. And you can just head to the website. It is www.gotrmemphis.org. And that's where you can sign up for any of our volunteer opportunities.
And obviously, that's the initials for Girls on the Run.
Yes,
so, yes.
Go by Goter.
Goter, yes.
When you look at, obviously, the growth you've already had, but where you're headed, what is the vision when you look at 2020 and beyond? What's the vision?
We just want to keep adding, doubling schools. This is for every girl in every community throughout the Mid-South. So our goal is to eventually reach everybody. Public, private, charter school, doesn't matter, community center. This program is for everybody in Memphis. So we're just going to keep adding schools. So if schools or community centers are interested, you can also head to our website. We have a site form you can fill out, and that's kind of how that process starts.
And give us one of your favorite parts. I know it's like you can't pick your favorite child, but give us one of your favorite parts of the program.
I think it's really getting to know the girls. I started out helping volunteering at Sharp Elementary and got to see the girls start the program in 4th grade through their 5th grade year, just to see them grow and get excited and to see them, make it through the finish line. You really build a connection with the girls and with the students and just become a part of, ingrained in their life and their journey and their experience. So even just showing up at the 5K and seeing their excitement and they identify with you, that's really the most rewarding part.
Right, and I think for me, it's somewhat personal. I got my mom to be one of the head coaches, and so to see her kind of interacting with those girls and establish those relationships has been really special.
Well, greatly appreciate both of you coming on the show. Thank you for all you do. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
The Spark Awards annually recognize and celebrate individuals and organizations that have made outstanding contributions to the community. This year's recipient of the Individual Collegiate Award is Erin Lisa Alfinger.
I am a senior creative writing major with Global and Religious Studies minors. I will be graduating in May as a LaSallian Fellow, which is 5 members of the graduating class who have displayed the values of the LaSallian tradition very well. Those values are faith, service, and community. When I first started at Christian Brothers University, I joined the honors program. And then as a sophomore, I joined Zeta Tau Alpha. And there I was able to look at how important having a group of women to support each other is. And I was also able to embrace our philanthropy, which is breast cancer education and awareness.
So at age 14, you were given a life-changing diagnosis.
Being diagnosed with epilepsy really had to shift how I was operating in life. Everything from staying on a strict sleep schedule to decisions about travel and things like that. If I didn't have people in my life who were always willing to support me and learn how to do seizure training and things like that, then I wouldn't have had all of the opportunities that I've had in life. And it's become a huge frame of mind for me for knowing I can do anything I set my mind to. I just might have to be more careful about it.
Talk about your work with Le Bonheur and being able to raise funds, and even Mid-South Food Bank, and you have an online store, and you have a lot going on.
Le Bonheur has always been really close to my heart. Even before I had my seizure at 14, I did serve there on Thanksgiving, and I gave out toys to kids. But after being a patient there, I saw it, from the other side. So I've been working really hard ever since then to raise awareness for what Le Bonheur does. They provide for the entire Memphis area and beyond, and they need funds to be able to do that. They need to be able to support the community that surrounds them. Most recently, I would say I probably raised money through the honors program, and that was really exciting to get my honors program involved in a cause that I care so much about.
Well, even using skills like crocheting, so talk about that. I mean, that's pretty cool.
I started learning how to crochet. I think I learned for the first time in 3rd grade, but I put it down for a really long time, and then I picked it back up at sophomore year of high school. And I realized I could use it to raise money, not just for my own personal travels and be able to say, hey, I have epilepsy, but I can still go and visit Europe and stuff like that, but also to raise money for the causes I was really passionate about. Most anything I sell, a portion of that goes towards a cause that I support, and very often that cause is Le Bonheur. Being able to say, just because you're a student doesn't mean that anything's holding you back. I've done things in my 21 years of life, almost 22, that I never thought I'd be able to do. Just being able to show other children, especially children with disabilities, that you can do anything you set your mind to. That's what's important to me.
They're encouraging and equipping cheerleaders and dancers to be leaders on and off the field. We're here with the president of Varsity Spirit, Bill Seeley, and Varsity Spirit, you do a lot, and a lot of different names, a lot of different programs, but when you describe Varsity and Varsity Spirit, give viewers an idea of how you describe it.
Sure. Well, we're the largest school spirit company in the world now. So we have cheerleading, dance, and band. We entered into band this year, and we're now the largest high school band company in the world. We started in 1974. It's our 45th year in operation, and we started in cheerleading, and really our founder Jeff Webb kind of transformed what cheerleading was to what everyone knows it to be today. So we have 350,000 young people that attend our summer camps every summer, and then we outfit them with uniforms, accessories, etc.
And you're based here in Memphis.
Based here in Memphis,
which is awesome.
The birthplace of cool. Yeah.
There you go. Well, I think this is an industry that in some cases flies under the radar, and you don't realize, one, how monumental the impact has been. And we'll talk about that in a second, but the fact that it's all coming out of Memphis, which is awesome.
Sure. Yeah. When Jeff began the company in 1974, he left a company down in Dallas. So it was where he operated out of. We started our first camps down at Ole Miss in 1975, and kind of grown from this space from a small regional company to now the global leader.
Talk about how much has changed, because you mentioned the change, and you've been a leader on this on the forefront,
Sure.
but dance has changed, competitive dance especially, cheerleading, that has changed dramatically, and now it's even looking like there could be opportunities to be in the Olympics. I mean, you talk about a complete transformation in a good way, empowering and providing more opportunities for young women and men.
Sure.
It's neat to see.
Yeah, I mean, one of the things that Jeff did was really introduce the athleticism and entertainment in the activity. And what we've tried to do along the way is really make sure it didn't get so elite, so all kids could participate. We want this to be a broad activity. We know it's good for them. The work that they do inside the schools, it can be transformative to those schools if it's done properly. And that's really what we're all about. So, our mission is to elevate the student experience. And it's not just a slogan, it's what we do. So how do we train these cheerleaders and these dancers to go in and activate on that back into their schools? If they do that effectively, if we can teach them effectively how to activate the community in the school, it creates this great environment for the schools. School spirit starts to go up, and when school spirit goes up, student achievement goes up. So that's kind of what we're passionate about. And then the athleticism kind of caught the eye around the world on our ESPN shows, and has helped to kind of export cheerleading around the world. There's now 116 countries in our international governing body. So,
wow.
Yeah.
Well, I think that, being able to put it on TV, millions of households to see the athleticism, to see the impact, to see the chemistry, and all of that, it's powerful.
Yeah, it is powerful, and kids are drawn to that, and it's an activity that girls are passionate about and love being a part of. And we've seen it grow around the world. 15 years ago, there's probably 15, 20 countries that were participating in cheerleading. Now it's 116. So more and more young people are getting the opportunity to experience the life-changing experiences of cheerleading and dance, and we're thrilled that we're able to export that around the world.
You talked about the camps. When you look at the training aspect of this, safety obviously is the number one priority.
Sure.
Speak to safety.
Yeah. So, one of the things that we always say is we don't view ourselves as a company that serves a market. We are the stewards of the market. So in the 80s, when the athleticism really started to take off, we saw a spike in injury rates. So we came out with safety rules. We invested a couple $1 million, created a safety manual, partnered with the National Federation, the NCAA, instituted those across the country to mitigate risk for young people, and we've been able to successfully do that. Now, one of the safest activities, and while it may look risky and dangerous, when done right, it's one of the most safe activities that's out there. So we've really invested in the activity to make sure that young people are safe, they're getting the training that they need from their coaches, and so it continues to grow nationally and around the world.
I mentioned at the intro the equipping and empowering to be leaders on and off the field.
Sure.
And a big part of that is the philanthropic side. And you have a number of partnerships with organizations like St. Jude Children's Research Hospital, but really enabling them to go be good stewards in their communities that they serve.
Sure. Yeah, that's one of the things, St. Jude's, one of the gems here in Memphis, and we've been fortunate enough to be able to partner with them. And so we've been able to activate the young people back in their schools and having young people raising money for young people. And so we have a program, a letter writing program that we've done, and this past year the kids at camp raised over $1.5 million. Wow. Yeah, it was impressive, and over $7 million since the lifetime of the program. So they go back, they activate these things in the school. Then we have our Friday night St. Jude game day, which involves the football players, the cheerleaders, and actually the entire school. And that program is starting to get traction, and we expect big things to come out of that as well.
When you look at the impact that varsity is having, especially with this, what puts a smile on your face?
You know, what we talked about earlier, you know, you get to train these young people and, you know, they get all excited about the skills, you know, the athletic elements and the art of cheerleading. And what we try to do is really point to them on the leadership aspects that they're learning from cheerleading. How to be an ambassador for your school, how to go out and lead your classmates and take them from where they may be booing to where you channel that energy into something positive. And that the impact that they are able to have on their school, and be aware of that when you're going through it and see it. And so, you know, these young people, those athletic skills, as you and I know, they start to dissipate with age. And but the leadership skills are things that are going to serve them for a lifetime.
Well, tell us where we can all go to learn more about Varsity Spirit, website, social media. Where do we go?
Sure, you can go to varsity.com is the website, and then we're on all the social media platforms, Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, you name them, we're there.
Bill, thank you for all you do for coming on the show.
Appreciate it. Thanks, Jeremy. Have a great day.
A theme like cheering for values can be fun, but it's serious business for the organizations and individuals working hard each day to serve as a role model and to instill in others family values like honesty, generosity, health, leadership, and compassion. These family values are the foundation for our families and for our community, and we need as many positive examples as possible for our youth. I say it all the time, but a dollar bill doesn't mentor a child or solve a problem. People do. We're fortunate to have organizations like Families Matter Memphis and Girls on the Run Memphis that are pouring into families and young women to move our city forward with a sense of love and caring. Then companies like Varsity Spirit are using their resources to globally transform the sport of cheerleading and competitive dance, opening more opportunities for young women and men to participate. But they're doing it to encourage them to be leaders on and off the field by getting involved and giving back to our community. So it's not just about cheering for values, it's about taking action to power the good. Thank you for watching The Spark. To learn more about each of the guests, to watch past episodes, and to share your stories of others leading by example, visit WKNO.org and click on the link for The Spark. We look forward to seeing you next year and next month, and we hope that you'll continue joining with us to create a spark for the Mid-South.
Just like having relevant and accurate information is necessary to make sound hiring and lending decisions, being engaged in our community is important. DataFax is proud to support the positives and be a sponsor of The Spark.
Lipscomb & Pitts Insurance is honored to serve the Memphis community for over 60 years. We've always focused on supporting our community and believe in promoting the positives, encouraging engagement, and leading by example. Lipscomb & Pitts Insurance is proud to be a presenting sponsor of The Spark.